Again, I think it's a good idea because in some ways, again, I think Finland is an honest broker in these issues. It has a slightly independent voice. You are an Arctic nation, but you're not a coastal state. You are a member of the EU. There's an element of sort of independence and neutrality in your background that I think is important. I've now been in the Parliament for 11 years, and all I can say over those years, it's been clear that the importance of the Arctic in so many things that we do is increasing. And therefore the need is not going to decrease, it's going to increase. And therefore, I think there's absolutely no reason to say, you know, somebody's going to say there's no need. There's been a decision already that there is a need, and I think that's going to grow, not diminish.
The Arctic is currently facing a very rapid development. It's developing economically because of the globalizing world economics, but also because of climate change. And one of the key issues for sustainable development is awareness and knowledge. And that's why it's very important that very realistic information about the Arctic will be distributed also outside the Arctic. But at the same time, it's very important that in the Arctic, researchers and people know about the policies that may consider the Arctic. And that's why this type of information center would be good.
Educational and research bodies that already do a lot to do with the Arctic. So it has to be something more than that, clearly. And in my view, it has to be one of those institutions or a body connected to those institutions that has the basis of the research and education. But on top of that, it's got to be able to offer information flows that can go out to decision makers, to provide a facility for decision makers and policy makers, but also to the wider public. Because we know that the European public feel touched by the Arctic, but how do we engage them more in the difficult decisions that we have to make about what happens in the Arctic in terms of climate control, in terms of how we use and exploit the resources or develop them sustainably, all the sorts of difficult choices that are there. People feel all around Europe. You know, I come from the UK. I get letters from people concerned, you know, about polar bears or whatever, but you've got to explain to them the context into which those concerns have to be put into making decisions. Therefore, we need the information, the science-based information that goes out to the public, that also goes in a more focused form to decision makers and to politicians, but also to try and get people more aware of the Arctic in general and what it really is. And in that case, I think this place is great because it really has, you know, the wonderful exhibition and the rest of it that can make people begin to understand.